The mountain is moved not by the earthquake, but by the countless raindrops that persist through time. And that is the thought for today. Welcome to 7 Good Minutes. I'm Clyde Lee Dennis. Thanks for joining me for what I believe will be 7 of the most enriching minutes of your day. In today's episode of 7 Good Minutes, we talk about micro-victories and why your tiny successes matter most. Enjoy. In a world obsessed with grand achievements and dramatic breakthroughs, we've forgotten something profound: the extraordinary power of micro-victories. These tiny successes, the ones that seem almost insignificant in the moment, are actually the building blocks of every meaningful transformation. They're the quiet heroes of personal growth, working behind the scenes to create the life you're becoming. By the end of this episode, you'll understand why micro-victories are more important than major milestones, how they create lasting change in ways that big wins cannot, and how to recognize and celebrate these small but mighty moments in your own life. What exactly is a micro-victory? It's choosing water over soda when you're craving sugar. It's taking 3 deep breaths before responding to a frustrating email. It's making your bed when you'd rather leave it messy. It's saying thank you instead of just thinking it. It's choosing to listen instead of waiting for your turn to speak. These moments might last seconds, but their impact can last a lifetime. We tend to dismiss micro-victories because they don't feel significant. They don't come with fanfare or recognition. They don't make for impressive social media posts or compelling stories. But here's what we miss. Every major transformation is actually a collection of thousands of micro-victories strung together over time. The person who loses 50 pounds didn't do it in one dramatic moment. They did it through countless small choices to move their body and nourish it well. Micro-victories matter because they're where real change happens. Big goals can feel overwhelming, distant, sometimes impossible. But micro-victories are always within reach. They're the proof that you can choose differently, that you can grow, that you have more power over your life than you might believe. Each tiny success builds evidence of your capability and strengthens your identity as someone who follows through. Think about the compound effect of these small wins. When you choose patience over reactivity once, you're not just handling that moment better. You're literally rewiring your brain to be more patient. When you choose gratitude over complaint, you're not just improving that instant. You're training your mind to notice abundance. When you choose courage over comfort in a small way, you're building the muscle you'll need for bigger, brave moments. Micro-victories are also more sustainable than dramatic changes. When you try to transform everything at once, you often end up changing nothing at all. But when you focus on tiny, consistent improvements, you create momentum that builds naturally over time. Your nervous system doesn't resist small changes the way it resists big ones. Your identity can gradually shift without triggering the fear that comes with sudden transformation. The beauty of micro-victories is that they're available to you right now, in this moment, regardless of your circumstances. You don't need perfect conditions or unlimited resources. You don't need to wait for Monday or next month or next year. You can have a micro-victory in the next 60 seconds by choosing presence over distraction, kindness over indifference, or hope over worry. These tiny successes also create a positive feedback loop. When you notice and acknowledge a micro-victory, you feel good about yourself. That good feeling motivates you to make another positive choice, which creates another micro-victory, which generates more positive feelings. Before you know it, you're living in an upward spiral of small wins that add up to significant transformation. The key is learning to recognize micro-victories when they happen. We're so conditioned to notice what's wrong, what's missing, what needs fixing, that we often miss the moments when we're actually succeeding. Start paying attention to the small choices you make throughout the day. Notice when you choose growth over comfort, connection over isolation, presence over distraction. These are your micro-victories, and they deserve recognition. You can also create opportunities for micro-victories by setting tiny, achievable goals. Instead of, I'm going to exercise for an hour, try, I'm going to do 5 push-ups. Instead of, I'm going to meditate for 30 minutes, try, I'm going to take 3 conscious breaths. These small commitments are almost impossible to fail at, which means you're setting yourself up for success rather than disappointment. Remember, the person you're becoming isn't created through one dramatic moment of change. They're created through thousands of micro-victories, tiny choices that align with your values and move you toward your vision of who you want to be. Every small success is a vote for the identity you're building, a piece of evidence that transformation is not only possible, but already happening. Your micro-victories matter because you matter. Your small choices matter because they're creating your life. Don't wait for the big breakthrough to celebrate your progress. Start honoring the tiny successes that are happening right now, in this moment, in the next choice you make. That does it for today's episode of 7 Good Minutes. Please take a moment to rate and review the show on the platform you're listening on. Until next time, let's be civil to one another out there. Thanks for listening.